First off, Alistair, I want to thank you for coming out today.
Yeah.
What's been going on here is the Bully Be Gone seminar. So it's a seminar about bullying. We wanted to talk to you a bit about your experiences, if you've had any, with bullying when you were younger. Can you tell us, when you were in school, bring us back to your schoolyard days. Did you encounter bullying? Did you participate in bullying? Did you know anyone who had to deal with stuff like that?
Yeah, I do. I did have it a little bit when I was young. But my dad, he gave me the best advice ever. And I'm not sure if it actually is the best advice ever. I'm not sure if I would I should give it to you. But basically, he said, if somebody bothers you, you just bully back. So I just did that, and that worked for me. But I'm not sure if that's going to work for you guys. So the other good thing that I had was I had an older brother. He was 4 years older. He was a lot bigger. And basically, every time I got bullied, I just called him, and he kind of solved it. So,
for help. Awesome.
I suppose you could call your friends, your buddies, and they would help you out. But I think the best advice came from my dad, and yeah, he just said bully them back and make sure they don't even think you bully them as bad back that they don't even think about bullying you again. And yeah, it worked for me.
I think a big part of that bullying back thing is the idea of self-confidence. And of course, you're a world champion fighter. It's easy for you to be self-confident. You're a lot bigger than these kids. But what would you say to these kids about how?
I was little. When I was little.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
when I went to school, there were kids who were bigger, and yeah, of course they're superior to you.
Right.
So I remember all that stuff going to school, and we moved a couple times because when I was young, I moved from Holland to England a little bit back and forth. So every time you're a new kid, you have to find your place. Yeah, but the whole thing is don't accept it. That would be my advice. Don't accept it. Don't take it.
Let's talk a bit about the idea of mental toughness. I know even you as an adult, as a fighter, those of you who follow his career, you've gone through some rough patches in your career. In Pride, you were losing some matches that I think a lot of other fighters, if they went through that, some people would have retired. You know, but you fought through that, you redefined yourself as a heavyweight, and here you are today, one of the most popular fighters in the world. Where does that come from? I do know a lot about you. I've been following your career for a long time.
I think I've always had it in me, and I've had good people around me that supported me. So that's also another thing that I would recommend any of you kids. Find good people around you. There's two kinds of people that exist out there. There's the people who build you up, and there's the people who break you down. I always wanted to have the people around me that build me up. And yeah, life always goes on. So it doesn't matter what happens. And for me in my career, there was no other option. I'm a fighter. That's what I do. And I've always been dedicated and just kept at it, even after a loss. Like, losses make you learn the most. My losses redefined me. If I kept winning, you don't have to change anything because you keep winning.
Right.
So my losses, although they were not pleasant to say the least at the time, they make me think about how to improve and what to do better and what to do.
Now you as a professional fighter, I know we look at you, you're kind of like a superhero to us. Do you ever feel scared?
No. I don't feel scared because I've recognized the emotion of scaredness and linked that to I'm not prepared. So that just means you need to prepare yourself. And what that means is for everybody different. That depends on the situation, what you need to do. If you feel scared, you just need to dive in the topic, dive in the subject, learn about it, study it, learn the weaknesses, learn the strengths, learn all aspects about it. And slowly you'll get used to it more and more. And then the fear will go down because you know it. And that's how I tackle fear. I just fear there's not unknown, actually, not known.
Yeah. Well, like you're saying, with being prepared, I mean, obviously we think that martial arts is one of the best things a kid could do to bully-proof themselves and to feel confident in that way. But I think some kids who are being bullied aren't the types of kids who would gravitate towards martial arts or who might not like athletic things like that. What would you say to kids like that about stepping into martial arts for the first time?
Well, I think it's a great confidence builder, and yeah, again, also like when I grew up a little bit, when I became a little bit older myself, I've also bullied myself because that's part of life. Sometimes you get bullied, sometimes you bully yourself. But again, one thing, kids who I never bullied were the kids who didn't accept it. The kids who stood up for themselves, and that would give me trouble. Give me trouble by ganging up on me with friends, or tell the teachers, or there was a kid who actually later became a good friend. He called his dad on me. So
Yeah.
I had my brother, but he called his dad, and that dad was pissed. So that caused me like, oh, whoa. So there's repercussions. So yeah, but to go back on the sport thing, I think it builds confidence. You learn to use your body in a defensive way or in an offensive way, but defensive, of course, is the main thing. So I would definitely encourage kids to do martial arts.
And one last question for you. I know things are different now from when we were kids. I think bullying back then was a lot more physical. And now, with the internet, you could be bullied by people you don't even know nowadays. And you as a celebrity, I know sometimes, obviously with MMA fans being the way they are, you have a lot of people sometimes talk about you, say things about you, maybe even journalists as well. How do you deal with that kind of noise, knowing that there's people around you who might be saying things about you that aren't true? Or
Well, first of all, words don't hurt. Yeah, and for me, I don't care what people say if I don't know people. I only really accept criticism from the people around me, and those are the people who build me up. Yeah, good friends, people I work with, but people who I don't know, they can talk all day long. I'm not listening anyway. So that's basically. Maybe I would hear it, but I'm not listening to it because, of course, there's a lot of people screaming everything these days online, and you do it for, you're not going to do it for him, but you do it for yourself. You have to protect yourself. So of course you're not going to take it to heart what other people say maybe on the other side of the world, which you can't even control anyway.
Perfect. We've got a whole group of people here who are out to see you. I want to thank you all for coming here. Guys, give it up for Alistair Overeem.